You are listening to KEXP. This is Sonic Reducer, the punk show, live in studio with the Seattle Institution. This is the band Sicko. Take it away, guys. Sure.
No, we're done.
Okay.
What are we playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting drunk on the sunshine. She's got the road to go in the summer of her life. Something in the way and she looks at me. Books and written pages that I never thought of. At the summertime, I see the sun. Ooh, I was out so tight. Now, I'm undone. I'm undone. That I thought I'd hide, changing from the man that I used to be. Books are written pages that I never thought I'd read. After summertime, I see the sun. Ooh, I was out so tight. I'm done. I'm done.
KEXP, Sonic Reducer, the punk show. Right here with Sicko, local band, reunited after many years. They're going to do one more and then we're going to chat.
This next one is a cover of a song by a great Pacific Northwest band called Cub.
You shine brightly in my sky. You can run nights go by. Judging come by his tail. If he hollers, go to jail. A monkey and his name was Bob. He had a nice smile and liked him a lot. But he was nothing next to you. You're my little star and you shine through. You're my little star. You're my little star, my star, my little star. Thunder, lightning, sunshine, rain. And will I see you again? Find a little lover's lair. Anytime and I'll be there. You're my little star. You're my little star, my star, my little star. You're my little star. You're my little star, my star, my little star.
KEXP, where the music matters. Sicko, live in studio. They're getting back together for one show. Well, they technically, you played a little secret show, which Ian, you were hinting at really heavily that I should go to. And I was kicking myself for not going to it. And then I thought, wait a second, no, I get to have like basically a one-person performance.
Yeah.
With, I mean, the cameras are here and there's people in the booth and everything. So.
Yeah, I remember saying that. I was thinking, well, how do I say this without saying this? There's some bands that you might like that
I
are playing.
was not picking up on the hint at all.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I felt bad about it.
That's fine. Well, tell us a little bit about why you're here. You got a bunch of stuff coming up.
So there is a bunch of stuff coming up. I guess the sort of the short of it is we're Sicko very kindly agreed to reform to help support the Seattle Pop Punk Festival, which is a great show coming up in 2 weeks, I guess it is, on the 19th and 20th of January. Mm-hmm. And it's all pop punk bands from Seattle and personally selected by me because they're all bands that came from either the original 13 Soda Punks LP that came out back in the 90s on my label, Top Door Records. Great bands like Bum, the Fastbacks, or I should say the K-Streets, which is members of the Fastbacks playing Fastback songs, but not actually the Fastbacks. And then also Sicko were on that first LP. And then I think 27 years later or something, we're doing the second one, 14 Soda Punks. And it's all new bands, current bands in Seattle. And it's an amazing thing, really, because back in the 90s, you might find this hard to believe, in the post-pop punk world, there weren't very many pop punk bands. There was really, in Seattle, I think it's fair almost to say that there was the Fastbacks and Sicko. And we wanted to do this pop punk compilation, and people were sort of laughing about whatever that meant in 1991. And we had to go to Canada, we had to go to San Francisco to get Mr. T Experience, Canada to go to get Bum and The Stand, and all around across the country really to put together a pop punk compilation. And the incredible news today is that there's so many bands doing this genre. You can do not just 13, but 14 bands, all from Seattle zip codes. And so it's a neat showcase of how far things have come and how deep the genre is now and how very much alive it is. So I guess that's a long way of saying that it's a record release for Cool Record of all Seattle bands.
So there's two things.
See it.
There's a compilation that's coming out, and this is a record release show for it. And it's at the Highline. Is it January 19th and 20th?
That's right.
I should know better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The Highline, January 19th and 20th. There's apparently the Highline got bought by a development company famous for knocking down buildings, and so hopefully they won't knock it down before the 19th.
All right. Were you guys you're famous for switching instruments. Every time, I've never been able to see you guys, so this is amazing for me. But everyone I ever talk to when I talk about seeing Sicko, they go, did you know they switch instruments in the middle? Because they can play guitar and bass.
That's true.
So,
would you like us to do that now?
Yeah, you guys, let's play some more songs. And if you want to, we can talk a little bit more. While you're doing that, so the Seattle Pop Punk Festival is playing at the Highline. It is the 20th and 19th, featuring Sicko, as well as a couple of the bands that these guys are in now, including other bands that were on the first comp and the second comp. So Dead Bars, The Drolls, Date Night with Brian, all sorts of band. And you can check that out, of course, by searching for Seattle Pop Punk Festival on the internet. This is KEXP, Sonic Reducer, The Punk Show, listener-powered radio, live with Sicko on the radio, 90.3 FM Seattle. Whenever you guys are ready, but take your time. I'll just sit here and yammer on endlessly. I'll start reading some of my poetry.
That's good.
Yeah, let's do that.
Josh can do some pretty cool ham boning. I think I'm ready.
See how cool that switching is?
It is pretty impressive.
It helps to just slow everything down.
I think at one point it was sort of, it was a great way for us to be able to both be singer-songwriter, guitar players, and then back the other guy up on bass. And now it's a chance for us to sort of replenish the oxygen supply in our blood.
There's that. All right. Wave? Okay.
Wave.
Something's up to take me if the 'cause I'm work for you. And you don't know time to mess around. Save until you're back here on the ground. And you better buck up down, coming at price closing in. And you better hurry back before they attack again. You're our only hope, century damage has begun. You are like a damn white motion gun. White motion gun. Camouflage raging full on. Turn the earth into a mess. Your brother's dead, your family's gone. Who you trying to impress? And you better buck up down, coming at price closing in. And you better hurry back before they attack again. You're our only hope, dancing damage has begun. You are like a damn white motion gun. White motion gun.
Listening to KEXP, this is Sonic Reducer, the punk show live in the studio with Sicko, playing one show for a while. And your guys are playing the 19th, correct?
Yeah, that's right. We're on the 19th.
Bum will be playing Saturday night, which I'm very excited about. They've played on the show before.
They're one of the best bands
I love them.
They're so good.
They're one of the best bands to have like one cocktail of and then buy a bunch of the records on Discogs.
Yeah, especially if that cocktail is one of Smash Sensation. But you know what? A funny story. So Conrad Uno closed up shop at Egg, and he.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, he sold the pieces and sold the house, and I think a lot of the studio gear went to Johnny Sangster and Kurt Bloch, and it's sort of all dissolved up now. And I think he's moving to Arizona, sort of just retiring from working in general, which is well-deserved and earned at this point. Anyway, he used to run a significant mail order business out of his basement there for Pop Llama Records, which is what they used to put out the Fastbacks and Young Fresh Fellows and all those bands back in the day. So he had, among other things, records that I had consigned with him back in the 90s, still sitting there, for bands like Stumpy Joe and Old Man and stuff like that. But he also had boxes of Bum LPs and CDs, and so I've actually, they're being guarded in my basement right now for when those guys come, and I'm going to give it to them when they get here. I'm sort of
that's nice.
The carrier of their precious cargo.
Because I remember when they played, they had found a sort of cache like that, I think somewhere in Spain, and they were like so excited to have 10 of the records. And then I bought 2 and immediately lost 1. So to buy another one and have it sent from Spain.
Like a half a box pretty cheap.
Okay, we ready to go?
We're ready.
All right.
Which one are we doing?
Rehashed.
Such a lame excuse, but I didn't know what I got into. I was only drunk, and it seemed like the thing to do. That's all it was, nothing more than something fun to do. I'm sorry if you're disappointed in our and borrowed on here and there. They were never mine, why should I care? And if it's all been done, then we're on our way with the bullet straight to number one. Cause we stole the hits, we may not be artists, but at least we're not done.
All right. Let's do it, Josh. Sprinkler.
Looking out the window, I see some old friends riding down the street on the bikes we used to go out on the playground. But I broke my bike last fall, and my parents were appalled at my lack of respect for personal property. Sitting in the basement, eating a butter captain crunch, watching Wilmore and Bill that rattles. But that stuff was out faster than my outdoors. Locked myself in my bedroom and played with my heart with art. Playing in the backyard, playing like a rush I wish that I could forget. Run up through the sprinkler until I'm soaking wet. I forget whatever happened to me and all my white trash friends. They got sick of me or I grew out of them. But then monsters of betrayed and I stopped seeing things that way. Lost all that just in the stupid plans we made. And I can still see us skating down the steepest hills. We were out fearless and our parents knew the doctor's bills. Just having fun was our excuse, just being cool. Was a two-tone tie to stop but doesn't. Ain't no use. Laying in the backyard playing like a box I wish that I could forget. Running through the sprinkler until I'm soaking wet. Laying in the backyard playing like a box I wish that I could forget. Running through the sprinkler until I'm soaking wet. I forget what you said. Not yet.
Sicko live on KEXP, Sonic Reducer with the Sprinkler from You Can Feel the Love in This Room. Their first full length from, I want to say like 94?
Yes.
Is that right? I'm terrible. I always get that wrong, but it's just, wow. That song, when I used to listen to that song when I was much younger than I am now, that made me feel nostalgic, and now it's like ultra nostalgia. Now that I have kids, and I know some of you guys have some kids too. So.
Meta nostalgic.
Is that what it is? It's nostalgia about nostalgia. All right, you can see Sicko for probably the last time ever, if not for a very long time, at the Highline on the 19th, along with a ton of other bands from the two compilations, the Soda Punks compilations. Current bands like Ramona, Success, The Drolls, Listen Lady, and Ramona are no longer a band here, so that's really cool that they're coming back from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, wherever they went. I'm sure a ton of bands I'm forgetting, and then also
Success is playing. The Drolls are playing. That's Denny's other band. We've got Foxhole Norman with the best song of the year of 2017 in my book. We've got Shadow Cats. We've got a ton of super cool Coyote Bad.
Coyote Bread.
Bread. I knew I was going to get that wrong.
And then bands that were on the original is some members of Fastbacks, you guys, Bum, of course, and I'm blanking on any others. But
yeah, that's it.
That's
Three
it.
of us.
all right.
We almost had the Smugglers, but they kind of got back to us. It was too late. We had too many bands by the time.
Oh, that's too
I heard
bad.
back from Grant. But I sort of looked at that as sort of, year two fodder.
Oh,
like
good.
There's a couple of, and this guys in the stand wanted to do it, but there was an issue traveling. So I think we can
Yeah, I just got a
keep them on ice for next year.
I got a Bandcamp message that the Stan GT had a new record out. I was like, I think it might be a re-release.
Yeah, probably.
Thanks.
Those guys all still hang out together. They still play sometimes, actually.
Great. Well, thanks for coming in. You guys feel like doing one more?
Josh. Where I live. Oh, we're doing where I live.
Excellent.
Okay.
It's KEXP, Sonic Producer.
Normally there's guitar there, isn't there? Oh, yeah, okay.
I've got a fear that goes places, driving with no notification, people staring at me. I wonder what you like, and I am for the mind. I've come to the point that it must make me want to run away. I don't want to play, don't think I won't know where all my time goes. I've got enough to worry about as it is, don't think I won't go everywhere I go. I've got enough to do right here where I live. And I'm afraid of being lame. I always want to play game. I think they are always right. I found myself tired. Then I just sit and I know I can keep it out of food. Wasting time once again. I'm not time, but I don't think I will know where all my time goes. I've got enough to worry about as it is. Don't think I won't go everywhere I go. I've got enough to do right here where I live. Don't think I wanna know where all my time goes. I've got enough to worry about as it is. Don't think I wanna go everywhere I go. I've got enough to do right here where I live.
Excellent. Sicko live on KEXP, Sonic Producer. Check them out live at the Highline on the 19th, along with a ton of other bands. Thank you so much, guys, for playing.
Thanks for having us and supporting us. Much appreciated.
It's KEXP, Seattle.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.